After the fall of man in Eden, something began spreading through humanity far beyond a single act of disobedience. Sin was no longer only personal, it became civilizational. The fracture that began between man and God slowly began affecting families, relationships, societies, and eventually the entire structure of human culture. And the first sign of this appears immediately after Eden, not in a kingdom, not in a nation, but within a family. The book of Genesis chapter 4 introduces Cain and Abel, two brothers standing before God with offerings. Yet beneath the sacrifice was a deeper issue unfolding within the human heart: jealousy, pride, anger, and eventually murder. This was the first recorded human death caused by another human being. The first civilization fracture after Eden was not technological, it was spiritual. Secondly, after Cain killed Abel, God asked a powerful question: "Where is thy brother?" Notice that God was not asking for information. He was confronting responsibility. Because one of the earliest signs of corruption is when man begins losing awareness of accountability toward both God and fellow humans. Cain responds, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And that statement echoes through human history even today. Whenever societies abandon responsibility, compassion, truth, and moral restraint, corruption begins multiplying rapidly. The fall was no longer only about disobedience in a garden. Now violence had entered human relationships. Thirdly, as generations continued, civilization itself began expanding. People started building cities, creating tools, working with metals, developing music and structures. Human capacity continued growing because the original blueprint within mankind was still present. Man still carried the ability to build, create, organize, expand, and shape the earth. But now these capacities were operating through corrupted hearts. And this introduces an important biblical pattern. Human advancement does not automatically mean moral alignment. The book of Genesis chapter 6 says that the earth became filled with violence. Notice that civilization progressed externally while humanity decayed internally. This pattern appears repeatedly throughout history. A society may become technologically advanced while spiritually collapsing underneath. Number 4, the corruption became so widespread that Scripture says every imagination of the thoughts of man's heart was continually evil. This was no longer isolated sin. Civilization itself was becoming structurally corrupted. Violence, pride, self-exaltation, and rebellion were multiplying across the earth. And this reveals something important. Judgment alone cannot transform the human heart. Because even after consequences, humanity continually drifts back toward corruption when separated from God. This is why the Bible consistently points beyond external law toward inward transformation. In the middle of increasing corruption, one statement suddenly appears in Scripture. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. That sentence is extremely important. Because throughout the Bible, whenever corruption spreads widely, God preserves a line, a remnant, a continuation point. This becomes another recurring biblical pattern: judgment alongside preservation. The flood was not merely destruction, it was also preservation. Noah, his family, and the ark became a continuation line for humanity. And this pattern later appears again through Passover in Egypt, the preservation of Israel, and ultimately Christ himself. God judges corruption while still preserving a path for redemption. But even after the flood, something surprising happens. Humanity still struggles with sin. What? Because water can destroy structures, but it cannot cleanse the human heart. And this becomes one of the deepest revelations in Scripture. The true problem of humanity is not merely environmental. It is internal. This is why after Noah, mankind eventually returns again to pride, rebellion, and self-glorification. The Tower of Babel becomes another attempt by humanity to centralize power and identity apart from God. Different generation, same tension. The original blueprint still existed, but humanity continued operating outside divine alignment. Finally, the story after Eden therefore reveals something sobering about mankind. Human beings can expand civilization while simultaneously drifting away from God. They can build cities, create systems, advance knowledge, and strengthen power, while internally becoming spiritually fractured. And yet, throughout all generations, God continues preserving a path toward restoration. From Eden to Noah to Abraham to prophets to Christ, the pattern continues unfolding. But this introduces another critical layer. If corruption continued surviving across generations, then how would humanity ever truly be restored? Could law solve the problem? Could kings solve it? Could civilization solve it? Or would mankind eventually need something far deeper than judgment alone? And that leads us into the next layer of the blueprint. Nothing is new, it was already written first.